Her error was arriving with the intention of assaulting him. Representative Ilhan Omar positioned herself at the witness stand, holding her scripted notes, poised to sermonize House Speaker Mike Johnson regarding Christian nationalism, theocracy, democratic threats, and radicalism. She possessed her talking points. Her liberal colleagues were waiting, and her media allies were ready to broadcast the message. This was intended to be her defining occasion, her viral dismantling of the newly appointed Republican leader. However, she remained entirely unaware of the events that were about to unfold. Johnson sat opposite her inside the House Ethics Committee hearing chamber during the public session, with C-SPAN cameras recording and the nation observing. He appeared tranquil, displaying that Louisiana gentleman's demeanor, soft-voiced and courteous. It was the specific type of Southern manners that disarm you immediately before destroying you. As a constitutional attorney who had argued before the Supreme Court, he never lost his composure, never raised his volume, and did not need to do so. He possessed something far superior to volume, for he held the truth, the evidence, and the documentation. Omar concluded her opening offensive, the scripted comments regarding Christian nationalism menacing a diverse democracy, religious extremism within the government, and the perils of faith-based legislation. She felt assured, virtuous, and convinced she had struck significant hits. Johnson grinned, not with malice, but with a worse expression, a knowing smirk. It was the look of a prosecutor preparing to introduce proof that the accused is unaware of. Representative Omar, I appreciate those statements, which were quite intense and troubling. You are correct that we ought to be concerned regarding radicalism in the legislature, foreign sway, and allegiance to other nations above America. We should worry about families getting rich through public service, about deceit, and about treachery. You are entirely correct that we should be extremely anxious about those matters. He halted, allowing the silence to linger there. Therefore, let us discuss your own conduct. He unsealed a binder, a dense file with visible papers, financial logs, campaign submissions, and government reports, all public and all incriminating. You challenged my fidelity to this country, insinuated my religion renders me hazardous, and implied I obey something besides the Constitution. These are intriguing charges, which in the field of psychology we refer to as projection. This occurs when you blame others for the very actions you commit yourself. So, prior to debating my alleged radicalism, let us scrutinize yours. Let us debate where your allegiance truly resides. Let us track your funds, review your controversies, and discover the genuine menace to America. He stared straight at her, the Southern courtesy still present, but concealing a core of steel, deadly beneath the surface. Please assist me in understanding, Representative, exactly how much capital you transferred to your husband's firm from your campaign. Her hand drifted to her hijab, an anxious motion, a tiny signal, but Johnson noticed and recorded it. That information is a matter of public record and was fully disclosed. I asked for the amount, Congresswoman, specifically how much of your donor's funds went to your husband's business. She paused, which was a lethal error. Campaign consulting is a standard practice. The total amount, Congresswoman. Tell me the figure. Silence followed because she could not articulate it, could not confess it aloud because the figure was too immense, too glaring, and too corrupt. Johnson stated it on her behalf, noting it was more money than most Americans will earn in their entire lives. That is the amount your husband's firm received, your family's profit derived from donors who placed their faith in you. They believed you would utilize their funds for elections, for democracy, and for representation. Instead, you made your family wealthy while they struggled, sacrificed, and donated money they could essentially not afford. You enriched yourself which is not representation, Congresswoman. That is fraud." He allowed the statement to breathe, letting America absorb it and letting the indignation rise. 5 scandals, 5 rounds, and 5 proofs, all pointing to one truth. You serve Somalia first, not America. It is always Somalia, never America. So let us begin. The room fell quiet in that specific manner that indicates everyone realizes they are about to observe something momentous. Johnson displayed the first document, a Federal Election Commission report, which was official, undeniable, and public. You accepted donations from hard-working citizens, some of whom contributed what they could barely spare. Sums of $25, $50, or $100 are significant amounts for families struggling to pay rent, buy groceries, and keep the lights functioning. They believed in you, trusted you, and thought their money would assist in electing representatives, aiding campaigns, and helping democracy. He paused and looked at her, asking where their money actually went. Congresswoman. She attempted her rehearsed deflection, stating that campaign expenditures are meticulously documented. "And where did it go?" he asked, his voice becoming defensive and higher in pitch. "My campaign adhered to all disclosure regulations. It went to your husband's company. That is exactly where it went. Help me comprehend, Congresswoman. Your donors made sacrifices while their children needed shoes, their rent was overdue, and their vehicles were failing. Yet they donated anyway, because they believed, because they trusted, and because they thought you were different." He extracted more documents, campaign finance reports listing payments repeatedly, month after month, and year after year. All of it was going to one destination. You took that money, that sacrifice, and that trust, and paid it to your husband, Tim Minette, and his consulting firm, the E Street Group. For what specific services, exactly what consulting did you require that only your spouse could offer? What unique expertise did he possess? What results did he produce that warranted paying him more than your donors will earn in their whole lives? Her mouth parted, but no words emerged. What could she possibly say when the records were public, the payments were documented, and the corruption was established? Let us discuss your donors, Congresswoman, real individuals who gave you actual money. These are working families in Minnesota, immigrants who arrived in America legally and followed every rule. They believed you represented them and thought you would fight on their behalf. His voice became softer, yet more dangerous. They work 2 or 3 jobs, doing whatever is necessary, with both parents laboring and barely seeing their children. They are exhausted constantly, their bodies failing and spirits wearing thin. But still, they fight, try and believe that America rewards hard labor. When they look at you, they think she understands. She came from nothing. She will fight for us. She will use our donations wisely, and she will represent our struggles. He looked directly at her. And you betray them. You take their small donations, money they needed and meant something, and you pay millions to your husband. Your family becomes wealthy while their families remain impoverished. You sacrifice nothing while they sacrifice everything. That is not representation. That is exploitation. Someone in the gallery spoke up, an older woman with a Somali accent and a weary voice. "I donated $80 to her over 2 campaigns while living on a fixed income. That money was significant, and I skipped necessities to afford it because I believed her. She said she would fight for working families and for immigrants like me who did things correctly. I thought my money would help, but it helped her husband and made her family rich while I still struggle." The woman sat down as others murmured in agreement, expressing anger and betrayal. Johnson continued, relentless now. The Federal Election Commission investigated, not Republicans or political adversaries, but the federal agency that supervises campaign finance. They investigated the payments to your husband's company. Do you know what they discovered? He held up the report, an official letter with the FEC letterhead. Violations were not merely alleged or suspected, but violations were proven and documented. You violated campaign finance laws. You paid your husband sums that breached regulations. You utilized campaign funds improperly. You were required to reimburse the money, pay a fine, and admit to wrongdoing. Her hands were trembling now, a visible shake. This was severe, this was documented, and this was proven. It was not a conspiracy theory or a partisan attack, but a federal violation officially found and publicly acknowledged. Help me understand, Congresswoman. When you were writing those checks to your husband's firm, enriching your family, and using donor funds for personal gain, were you thinking about your donors? She attempted to speak, her voice weak, claiming the services provided were necessary. Were you thinking about the Somali grandmother who donated $80 she could not afford? Campaign consulting is standard, she stammered. Were you thinking about the working families giving $50 instead of buying their children new shoes? This is a political attack, she tried to say. Were you thinking about them, or were you thinking about your bank account? Silence followed, a long silence of 10 or 15 seconds. She had no answer, no defense, and no explanation that did not sound corrupt. Johnson leaned forward. You were not thinking about them. You were thinking about yourself, your family, your enrichment, and your wealth. Their sacrifice financed your comfort, and their trust financed your betrayal. While your veterans and working families struggled to survive, you paid millions to your husband. There are different rules for you and a different system for you. It is your enrichment and their exploitation. He turned to the camera, addressing America. That is round one. Campaign finance fraud proven by the Federal Election Commission. Not alleged, but proven. But donor money went to the husband's company, meaning their sacrifice became your enrichment. Let us follow the money, Congresswoman, because it always reveals the truth. Round two concerns another fraud, another betrayal, and another crime regarding the marriage, the brother, and the immigration system. You may have cheated while your families waited years to arrive legally. This one is personal, so share this comment if you donated to her because round two is loading. Johnson extracted different documents now: marriage certificates, immigration records, and school documents. All were public records, yet all were confusing, deliberately so. Omar viewed them and her breathing altered, becoming faster and shallower. This was the one she could not explain, the one that haunted her, the one with no satisfactory answer. Congresswoman, let us discuss your marriages. Help me understand the timeline. You married one individual, then married another person, then divorced the first person, then divorced the second person, then married the second person again. It is confusing, correct? Almost deliberately confusing, as if you are attempting to conceal something. He spread the documents out for the camera and for America. Evidence implies, and I am being cautious with my words here because you have threatened lawsuits, that evidence suggests you may have married your brother. Your actual brother, not metaphorically or culturally, but your biological brother to commit immigration fraud to get him into America illegally. Her face went pale. This was the accusation she feared the most, the one she could never fully refute, the one that followed her everywhere. Now you say it is not true, You call it a conspiracy theory. You claim it is racist, and you threaten legal action. But you never actually prove it is false. Never provide the documents that would clear it up. Never take the DNA test that would end it. You never explain the confusing marriages or clarify the sealed records. You just attack, deflect, and claim victimhood. He held up more documents. But here is what we know. Same address on marriage documents, same school records, same family connections, photos showing family relationships, and immigration timing that is suspicious. Marriage records that do not make sense, divorce records that are sealed, and your absolute refusal to clarify any of it. Help me understand, Congresswoman. If you are innocent, why not prove it? If you are clean, why not show documents? If you are legitimate, why not take a DNA test? She attempted her standard response. This has been thoroughly debunked. By whom? Who debunked it? Not you. For you never provided evidence, just claimed it was debunked. But evidence says otherwise, documents say otherwise, records say otherwise, and your refusal to clarify says otherwise. He turned to the audience. Think about this. Think. If someone accused you of marrying your sibling to commit federal fraud, what would you do? You would immediately prove them wrong, show documents, take tests, provide evidence, and clear your name. Because the accusation is horrible, disgusting, and career-ending if true. So you would prove it false immediately. He looked back at her. But you do not. Years of accusations, years of evidence, years of questions, and you never actually prove it false. You just attack the accusers, claim conspiracy, and play the victim. Why not just prove it? Show the documents, take the test, and clear it up once and for all. Silence reigned, for she could not answer because any answer would be damaging. Admitting to a DNA test means she is not confident in the results, while refusing a DNA test means she is hiding something. She was trapped. Johnson pressed on. But let us talk about the real victims here. Not you, despite your constant claims of victimhood. You are not the victim. The victims are the immigrants who followed the law, who did it correctly, and who suffered to come to America legally. His voice became passionate now, angry but controlled. Immigrants who waited years in refugee camps, who followed every rule, submitted every document, proved every relationship, attended every interview, and did everything right. They were separated from family, missed weddings, funerals, and births, and suffered and sacrificed all to follow the law and immigrate legally. He pointed at her. And you may have cheated, maybe committed fraud, maybe brought your brother in illegally through a fake marriage. Different rules for you, different system for you. They wait years, you cheat the system. They follow the law, you break the law. They suffer, you succeed. Is it America first or Somalia first? Because this fraud, if true, is you putting family first, Somalia first, and not America first. Never America first. A man stood up in the back, a Somali immigrant who spoke with a heavy accent but clear conviction. I waited 8 years in a refugee camp, my family separated, my children growing up without a father. I followed every rule, every paper, every interview, keeping everything legal and right. Finally, I got to America legally. The right way. Now I hear she may have married her brother. She may have cheated. I suffered 8 years while she cheated in months. Is this justice? Is this fair? He sat down, and others nodded. Other Somali immigrants and other legal immigrants who had all suffered to follow the law. All betrayed if she had cheated. Johnson's voice became softer and more dangerous. Help me understand, Congresswoman. If you committed immigration fraud, and I am saying if, because you will not let us examine the evidence, how is that different from any other immigration fraud? How is that different from anyone else who lies to get into America? How is that different from any other crime? Because you are in Congress, because you are special, or because different rules apply to you. She could not answer and would not answer, simply sitting there as her world collapsed around her. The evidence is there, a public record anyone can see. Marriage records that do not make sense, immigration timing that is suspicious, school documents showing relationships, and photos showing family connections. Your absolute refusal to clarify or prove innocence stands out. And you lecture America about immigration, demand open borders, and attack enforcement while you maybe committed fraud. He leaned back. That is round two, possible immigration fraud, and the brother marriage allegation. Evidence you will not refute, documents you will not release, and a DNA test you will not take. While your families waited years to immigrate legally, while your neighbors followed every rule, and while your community suffered to do it right, you may have cheated. Different rules for the elite, a different system for you. America first or Somalia first? Your family comes first, always. Let us follow the money, Congresswoman, because round three is about words. Your words regarding September 11th, about terror, about the worst attack on America, and what you said about it. Share this comment if your family immigrated legally, because round three is loading. Johnson reached for the remote. A screen flickered to life behind them. The video ready. Omar's video. Her own words, about to destroy her. She knew what was coming, and started to speak. Johnson held up his hand. Let us watch together, Congresswoman. Let us let America hear your exact words in your own voice about September 11th, about the worst terror rate attack in American history, about the day that changed everything. Let us hear how you described it. He pressed play. Her voice filled the room, speaking to a CARE audience, the Council on American Islamic Relations, an organization with documented terrorist ties, an organization that defended terrorists, an organization that opposed American security measures. Her audience that day heard her say CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties. Johnson paused the video. Some people did something. He let those four words hang in the air, heavy, obscene, and unforgivable. Some people did something. That is how you describe September 11th. 19 Islamic terrorists, 4 hijacked planes, 3,000 murdered Americans, families destroyed, children orphaned, widows created, heroes sacrificed, a nation traumatized, and the world changed forever. And you call it some people did something. His voice stayed calm, but you could feel the rage underneath, controlled, directed, and lethal. Not an attack, not terrorism, not mass murder, not the worst day in American history. Some people did something, like it was minor, like it was forgettable, like it did not matter, like 3,000 American lives did not matter, like the families do not matter, like the heroes do not matter, like America does not matter. He pulled out photos, printed large for everyone to see, for the camera to catch, and for America to remember. These are the people who did something, Congresswoman. Look at them. Look at their faces. Look at the towers burning. Look at the people jumping. Look at the firefighters running in. Look at the Pentagon smoking. Look at the Pennsylvania field. Look at what some people did. He showed more photos, faces, names. Americans murdered. Innocent Americans. American heroes. Nicholas Harros Jr.'s mother died that day, killed by some people who did something. He wore a shirt with your quote to the September 11th memorial, confronted you publicly, demanded you see his mother's face, demanded you say her name, demanded you acknowledge her murder. Know what you did? He paused, letting the question hang. Nothing. You did nothing. Never apologized to him, never acknowledged his mother, never took back your words. Just defended yourself, claimed victimhood, claimed you were misunderstood, claimed context. But context makes it worse, Congresswoman, because let us see the full context. He played more of the video, her full remarks defending CARE, claiming Muslims were the real victims of September 11th, not the murdered Americans. Muslims who faced security measures, who lost some civil liberties, who were inconvenienced. They were the victims in her mind, not the dead, not the families, not the heroes. Muslims inconvenienced. That was the tragedy to her. A woman in the gallery stood, shaking, crying, her voice breaking. My husband died in Tower 2, a firefighter who ran in to save people and never came out. For 23 years I have lived without him. For 23 years my children grew up without their father. For 23 years I have mourned. And she says some people did something. My husband's murder is something. His sacrifice is something. His life meant something. The woman collapsed back into her seat, sobbing, while others comforted her. The room felt heavy, painful, and raw. Johnson spoke quietly now, more powerful than shouting. Help me understand, Congresswoman. Are you American? Do you feel what we feel? Do you mourn whom we mourn? Do you remember what we remember? Because Americans do not say some people did something about September 11th. Americans say never forget. Americans say their names. Americans honor their sacrifice. Americans mourn their loss. Americans remember their heroes. He looked at her directly. But you do not. You minimize, you diminish, you dismiss. You defend the terrorist-tied organization instead. You make Muslims the victims instead. You turn the worst attack on America into a story about civil liberties, not about mass murder, not about terrorism, not about dead Americans, about Muslims inconvenienced. That is what matters to you. That is what you mourn. That is where your sympathy lies. Her hands were trembling now, visibly shaking. This was destroying her, not politically, but humanly, because every American watching knew she did not feel what they felt. They knew she did not mourn what they mourned. They knew she was different, foreign, other, not American in her heart. America first or Somalia first? Because Americans honor September 11th victims, Americans remember September 11th heroes, and Americans mourn September 11th losses. But you say some people did something. You defend organizations with terrorist ties. You make Muslims the victims. You minimize American suffering. You dismiss American pain. You serve Somalia. You represent Somalia. You feel for Somalia, not America. Never America. He turned to the camera. While your veterans fought the terrorists who attacked us on September 11th, while your families lost loved ones in those towers, while your firefighters get into burning buildings, while your country mourned, she said, some people did something, and she never apologized, never took it back, never acknowledged she was wrong. Just claimed victimhood, just attacked critics, just defended herself. That is who she is. That is what she represents. Not America, not Minnesota, not you. Herself. Somalia always. Somalia never America. He looked back at her. That is round 3. Some people did something. Your words, your minimization, your betrayal of September 11th victims, of September 11th families, of September 11th heroes, of America. Share this comment if you remember September 11th, because round 4 is about money again. Different money, bigger fraud. $250 million stolen from hungry children, your children, and connections to her. Her protection, her silence while kids starved. Loading. Johnson pulled out new documents. These were different, a thicker stack, more detailed. Federal indictments, FBI reports, court filings. This was serious, criminally serious, and Omar's face showed she knew it. Let us follow the money, Congresswoman. Always follow the money. $250 million stolen from a program to feed hungry children. Feeding Our Future. A Minnesota nonprofit supposed to provide meals to poor kids during the pandemic. When schools were closed, when families were struggling, when children were literally hungry, when help was desperately needed. He spread the documents across the table. But the money did not feed children. The money fed fraud. Massive, organized, systematic fraud. Fake meal sites, fake kids, fake records. Real money, real theft. Real mansions bought. Real Ferraris purchased. Real luxury funded by your tax dollars meant for hungry children. He held up a photo of a mansion, huge and expensive. This is what fraud bought while your children went hungry, while your families struggled, while your community suffered. Criminals bought mansions, bought luxury cars, bought jewelry, bought wealth with money meant to feed your kids. Money meant for hungry children. Money stolen. Money protected by silence, by connections, by her. Omar tried to speak, claiming she had no knowledge. Help me understand, Congresswoman. These criminals, these fraudsters, these thieves who stole from hungry children. They donated to your campaigns. They worked on your campaigns. They had your personal cell phone number. They were in your community. They were your people. They were connected to you. But you knew nothing? He pulled out campaign finance records. These are your own reports, public record. Donations from Feeding Our Future. Donations from the organizers. Donations from the fraudsters. Money stolen from hungry children given to your campaign. You took it. You kept it. You spent it. Money laundering, some call it, taking dirty money from a criminal enterprise. Your campaign, their profit, your silence, their protection. He pulled out more records. But it gets worse, much worse. Guhad Hashi Saeed, your senior campaign finance official, your guy managing your money, working for you, indicted for fraud, for participating in the scheme, for stealing from Feeding Our Future. Your campaign official stealing from hungry children while working for you. And you say you knew nothing. Her face was ash white now. This was bad. This was criminal. This was provable. Federal indictments, FBI investigation, court cases, all public, all documented, all connecting to her. Johnson's voice got passionate now, not loud, but intense. Controlled fury. Think about what this means. Think about the victims, not abstract victims, real victims. Children, American children, hungry children. Children in your district. Children who needed food. Children who were suffering. Children whose families could not afford meals. Children who went to bed hungry. Real children, real hunger, real suffering. He showed more photos. School cafeterias empty. Kids' faces sad. Hungry. Real. This is what the fraud cost. The money that could have fed them went to mansions. The money that could have helped them went to Ferraris. The money that could have saved them went to criminals. And you were connected to those criminals. You took their money. You employed their colleague. You had their numbers. And you say nothing, do nothing. Protect them by silence. A teacher stood up. A young woman obviously exhausted, voice shaking with rage. I teach in Minneapolis, your district. During the pandemic, my students were hungry, truly hungry. I bought food with my own money, money I did not have, but my students needed it. We applied for Feeding Our Future help, got denied. Money was not available, they said. Meanwhile, criminals were stealing $250 million. My students went hungry while fraudsters bought mansions, and she was connected to them. She took their money. She protected them. The teacher sat down. Others murmured agreement, fury, betrayal. Johnson continued, Federal trials are ongoing. Multiple defendants, multiple indictments, massive evidence. The fraud is proven. The theft is documented. The connections to you are public record. Your campaign finance official indicted, your donors charged, your community members arrested. And you say nothing. Do nothing. Distance yourself now only because you are forced to. But while it was happening, silence, acceptance, protection. He looked at her directly. Help me understand, Congresswoman. When your campaign official was stealing from hungry children, were you thinking about those children? When fraudsters in your community were buying mansions with money meant for meals, were you thinking about hungry students? When your donors were committing federal crimes, were you thinking about the victims? Or were you thinking about your campaign, your money, your career, your protection of your community, even when they are criminals? She could not answer, would not answer. No answer would help. Admit knowledge, criminal. Claim ignorance, incompetent. Either way, damned. Johnson leaned forward. America first or Somalia first. Because this fraud was in the Somali community. Your community, your donors, your workers, your connections. And you protected them by silence. Protected them by keeping their money. Protected them by employing their colleagues. While American children went hungry, while your children suffered, while your tax dollars got stolen. You protected Somali criminals over American children. That is not representation, that is betrayal. He turned to the camera. $250 million stolen from hungry children, connected to her through donations, workers, and silence. Your children went hungry while criminals bought mansions. Your tax dollars stolen while she kept fraudsters' money. Your community betrayed while she protected them. Let us follow the money, Congresswoman. It always tells the truth. And it tells us where your loyalty lies. Not with hungry American children. With Somali fraudsters. Share this comment if your kids went hungry during the pandemic. Round 5 is final. The loyalty question. Where does she really stand? America or Somalia? Because her own words answer. Loading. Johnson reached for the remote again. Different video this time. Omar speaking to a Somali audience in the Somali language in Minnesota. Thought Americans would not see it. Thought translation would not matter. Thought she could say the quiet part loud to her people. Didn't realize someone would translate, would expose, would reveal the truth. Before I play this, Congresswoman, let me ask directly. America first or Somalia first? Simple question. Where does your loyalty lie? She tried the standard answer. I am proud to represent Minnesota and serve America. That is not what I asked. America first or Somalia first? Who do you serve? What country do you represent? Where is your loyalty? America or Somalia? She could not answer directly, would not answer honestly, knew the truth would destroy her. So she deflected, attacked, claimed the question itself was racist. This is exactly the kind of, watch the video, Congresswoman. Let America hear your own words in your own voice to your own people when you thought Americans were not listening. He pressed play. Her voice speaking Somali. Translation appeared on screen. English subtitles clear, undeniable, damning. The Somali government is our government. It belongs to us. We need to lobby for it and protect its interests. I encourage all Somali to vote and donate to the campaigns and use your votes to pressure American politicians to support Somalia. Johnson paused it. Our government. That is what you said about Somalia's government, not Minnesota's government, not America's government. Somalia's government, our government. Who is our, Congresswoman? Who is we? Because it is not Americans. It is Somalis. You identify as Somali first. You serve Somalia first. You advocate for Somalia first, not America, not Minnesota, not the people who elected you. Somalia. He played more. Her voice again. More instructions to Somali audience about using the American political system to benefit Somalia. About organizing Somalis to pressure American politicians. About prioritizing Somali interests in American politics. All clear, all damning, all proof of where her real loyalty lies. You took an oath, Congresswoman. Let me read it to you. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Faith and allegiance to the Constitution, to America. Not to Somalia. Not to any foreign government. To America. To us. To this country. He stood up now, rare for him. Heightened the moment, made it more serious, more final. But your actions betray that oath. Your words betray that oath. Your votes betray that oath. Your loyalty betrays that oath. You serve Somalia. You advocate for Somalia. You call Somalia's government our government. You instruct Somalis to use the American political system for Somali benefit. You prioritize foreign interests over American interests. That is not representation. That is foreign agency. That is betrayal. He pulled out more documents. Voting records, congressional votes, her pattern clear, consistent, damning. Voted against recognizing the Armenian genocide. Turkey did not want you to. Turkey is important to Somalia. You voted for Turkey against genocide recognition, for foreign interests. Voted against sanctioning Venezuela's Maduro regime. Why? Socialist dictatorship aligns with your ideology. America's interests irrelevant. Voted against Taiwan defense funding. Why? China did not want you to. China is important to Somalia. You voted for China against an American ally for foreign interests. Voted to block arms to Israel, America's closest Middle East ally under terrorist attack, needed help. You voted no. Why? Somalia sides with Palestine. You side with Somalia against American interests. Always against American interests. Pattern clear, Congresswoman. Every vote, every time. America's interests versus foreign interests. You choose foreign. America versus allies. You oppose allies. America versus enemies. You side with enemies. Not sometimes, not occasionally. Always, consistently, predictably. Because you do not serve America. You serve Somalia. You always have. You always will. A veteran stood up. An old man from the Vietnam era, voice shaking with age and rage. I fought for this country, bled for this flag, took the same oath you took. But I meant it. I kept it. I served America, always America. I watched brothers die for America. I killed for America. I sacrificed for America. And you take that oath while serving Somalia. You represent us while serving a foreign government. You vote against American interests while collecting an American paycheck. That is treason. That is what we call it. Treason. He sat down, others stood, some clapping, some shouting, some crying, all feeling betrayed, all understanding what they just witnessed. Foreign agent in American Congress taking American oath, serving foreign government, using American power for foreign benefit, and doing it openly, proudly, unashamedly. Johnson's voice cut through the noise. Help me understand, Congresswoman. Final question, last chance. America first or Somalia first? Where is your loyalty? Who do you serve? What country do you represent? I am asking directly. I am giving you the opportunity to clarify, to explain, to prove me wrong. America first or Somalia first? She opened her mouth. Nothing came. What could she say? The video was her words. The votes were her record. The pattern was clear. The truth was undeniable. She served Somalia, always had, always would. Could admit it and end her career. Could deny it and be proven a liar. Either way, finished. Johnson did not wait for an answer. Your silence answers. Your votes answer. Your words answer. Your actions answer. Somalia first. Always Somalia first. Never America first. You took an oath to America but serve Somalia. You represent Minnesota but advocate for Mogadishu. You are paid by American taxpayers but prioritize Somali interests. You are a foreign agent in the American Congress, and you have been exposed. He gathered all the documents. 5 rounds worth, 5 scandals, 5 frauds, 5 betrayals. All proven, all documented, all undeniable. 5 rounds, 5 proofs, 1 truth. Round 1, campaign finance fraud. Paid husband millions from donor money meant for campaigns. Your donations, their wealth. Federal Election Commission found violations, proven, fined, admitted by reimbursement. Round 2, possible marriage fraud. Evidence suggests married brother to commit immigration fraud. Won't prove innocence, won't release records, won't take DNA test. While your families waited years to immigrate legally. Different rules for the elite. Round 3, September 11th, minimized. Some people did something about the worst terrorist attack in American history. Your family members murdered, she dismisses. Your heroes sacrificed, she ignores. Never apologized, never took it back. Never felt what Americans feel. Round 4, $250 million stolen from hungry children. Fraudsters connected to her through donations and employment. Your children went hungry. Criminals bought mansions. Your tax dollars stolen, she kept their money. Your community betrayed, she protected fraudsters. Round 5, Somalia first. Called Somali government Our government instructed Somalis to use American politics for Somali benefit, voted against American interests consistently, served Somalia while taking an oath to America. Your representative serves a foreign government. He looked at her one final time. You are not America first, Congresswoman. You are Somalia first. You always have been, you always will be. You took an American oath, but kept Somali loyalty. You represent an American district, but serve Somali interests. You are paid by American taxes, but prioritize Somali benefits. You are a foreign agent in the American government, and you have been completely, totally, undeniably exposed. He turned to the camera, to America. That is the truth. 5 rounds of evidence, 5 scandals documented, 5 frauds proven. One pattern clear. She serves Somalia, not America. Somalia always. Somalia never America. She is a foreign agent in our Congress, and she must be removed. Share this everywhere. Comment which betrayal angers you most. Subscribe because more foreign agents exist. More frauds to expose. More betrayals to reveal. Truth wins. America first win, and we are just getting started. Ilhan Omar is not unique. That is what Americans must understand. She is not one bad representative. She is not an isolated case. She is not an aberration. She is a symptom, a warning, a preview of what happens when America forgets to vet its leaders, when political correctness prevents scrutiny, when fear of being called racist stops legitimate questions, when diversity becomes more important than loyalty, when representation matters more than the oath. She represents something dangerous, something insidious, something that threatens the republic itself. Foreign loyalty in American government. Taking an American oath while serving foreign interests. Using American power for foreign benefit. Advocating for foreign countries while representing American citizens. That is not representation. That is infiltration. That is subversion. That is foreign agency. And she does it openly, proudly, unashamedly. Because no one stops her. Because no one questions her. Because diversity protects her. Because political correctness shields her. Because Democrats need her vote. Because progressives love her rhetoric. Because media covers for her. Because challenging her brings accusations of racism, Islamophobia, and bigotry. So she continues serving Somalia, advocating for foreign interests, using an American platform for foreign propaganda, voting against American interests, attacking American allies, defending American enemies, all while taking an American paycheck, all while representing an American district, all while violating an American oath. Look at her 5 frauds, connect them, see the pattern, see what they reveal. Campaign finance fraud shows she enriches her family through political office, takes donations from people who trust her, people who believe in her, people who think she will fight for them, then pays millions to her husband's company, makes her family wealthy while donors stay poor. Their sacrifice funds her comfort. Their trust funds her betrayal. That is not unusual in Washington. That is not unique to her. That is political corruption, common across both parties. But she does it while claiming to represent working people, while preaching about inequality, while attacking wealthy elites. Hypocrisy layered on corruption. Fraud wrapped in lies. Possible marriage fraud shows she cheats systems. Others follow legal paths. Immigrants wait years, suffer separation, follow every rule, do everything right. She maybe commits fraud, maybe marries her brother, maybe cheats the immigration system, won't prove innocence, won't clarify records, won't take a DNA test. Just attacks questioners, just claims victimhood, just deflects with accusations of racism. That is foreign agent behavior. Cheating systems, hiding truth, attacking scrutiny, protecting secrets. Because secrets would destroy her. Because truth would expose her. Because evidence would convict her. Some people did something shows she does not feel what Americans feel, doesn't mourn what Americans mourn, doesn't honor what Americans honor. September 11th changed America forever. 3,000 murdered, families destroyed, heroes sacrificed, a nation traumatized. Every American remembers. Every American mourns. Every American says, never forget. Except her. She says some people did something. She minimizes, she dismisses. She makes Muslims the victims instead of murdered Americans. She defends terrorist-tied organizations instead of September 11th families. She is not American in her heart. She is Somali, she is Muslim, she is other, she is foreign. And she does not hide it. She does not pretend. She tells you openly if you listen. She serves other interests, other people, other countries. Not America, never America. 250 million fraud shows she protects criminals over children. Fraudsters in her community. Somali criminals stealing from hungry American children. She takes their money, employs their colleagues, has their phone numbers, protects them by silence. While American children go hungry, while your children suffer, while your tax dollars get stolen, she prioritizes the Somali community over American children, even when the community is criminal, even when the community betrays America. She protects them always, because they are Somalis, because they are hers, because Somalia comes first, always first, never America. Somalia first proves everything. Her own words, her own video, her own instruction to a Somali audience. Our government, meaning Somalia's government, using the American political system for Somali benefit, organizing Somalis to pressure American politicians for Somali interests. All clear, all documented, all undeniable. She serves Somalia, she advocates for Somalia, she represents Somalia in the American Congress, takes an American oath but keeps Somali loyalty, gets an American paycheck but delivers Somali benefit, uses American power for Somali interests. That is foreign agency. That is what foreign agents do. That is what enemies do. That is what she is. 5 frauds, 1 pattern, 1 truth. She is a foreign agent in the American Congress, and she is not alone. Look at the squad. Look at her colleagues. Look at the pattern. Rashida Tlaib, Palestinian-American Congresswoman, serves Palestine more than America, attacks Israel constantly, America's closest Middle East ally under terrorist attack, needs help. Opposes why? Palestine. Always Palestine. Calls Israel an apartheid state. Compares to Nazis. Advocates for BDS, boycott, divest, sanction, economic warfare against an American ally from inside the American Congress. That is foreign agency. That is betrayal. That is what she is. AOC, not a foreign agent, just a fraud. Performance activist, Instagram socialist, TikTok revolutionary, uses Congress for social media content, uses politics for personal brand, not serving a foreign country, just serving herself. Different fraud, same betrayal, same pattern of using political office for purposes other than representation, all protected by the Democratic Party, all shielded by progressive media, all defended by an activist base, all kept in office by safe districts, all voting together, all pushing America left, all attacking American interests, all serving purposes other than representation. Different motives, maybe. Different beneficiaries, perhaps. But same betrayal always. Never America first. Always something else first. Identity, ideology, foreign countries, personal brand. Anything but America, everything but the oath. Nothing sacred, nothing binding, nothing meaningful about representing Americans. Why does the Democratic Party protect them? Why not remove them? Why not punish fraud? Why not enforce oaths? Why not demand loyalty? Because Democrats need their votes, need their activism, need their diversity, need their minority representation, need them for the electoral coalition. Can't win without them, can't govern without them, can't maintain power without them. So they protect them, defend them, excuse them, explain them. No matter the fraud, no matter the betrayal, no matter the foreign loyalty, party over country, power over principle, votes over values, always. Why do voters keep electing them? Why not primary them? Why not replace them? Why not demand better? Because districts are safe. Because identity protects them. Because challenging them brings accusations of racism, Islamophobia, bigotry, and intolerance. Attack, Omar, and you are attacking a Muslim woman. Attack Tlaib, and you are attacking a Palestinian American. Attack them, and you are a bigot. So they stay protected by identity, shielded by diversity, kept by political correctness, maintained by fear, no accountability, no consequences, no removal. Just continuation, just representation, despite betrayal. Just office, despite fraud. Forever. The tide is turning finally. Americans are waking up, seeing through the fraud, recognizing betrayal, understanding foreign agency. Mike Johnson exposed it. 5 rounds of evidence, 5 scandals documented, 5 frauds proven. All undeniable, all damning, all disqualifying. She cannot hide anymore, cannot deny anymore, cannot deflect anymore. Truth is out. Evidence is public. Pattern is clear. She serves Somalia, not America. Somalia always, Somalia never America. And Americans see it now, understand it now, reject it now, finally. What must Americans do? How do we prevent more foreign agents? How do we remove ones already there? How do we restore loyalty to American government? Demanded from every representative, every senator, every official. Take an oath to America means serve America. Represent Americans means prioritize American interests. Get paid by American taxes means work for American benefit. Not Somalia, not Palestine, not any foreign country. Not personal brand, not ideology, not identity. America first, always, only. Scrutinize everyone, regardless of identity, regardless of diversity, regardless of representation. Minority representatives must be scrutinized like majority representatives. Muslim officials must be questioned like Christian officials. Immigrant politicians must be vetted like native politicians. Same standards, same scrutiny, same accountability, same expectations. No exceptions, no diversity shields, no identity protection, no political correctness barriers. Just loyalty, just oath, just service to America. Remove foreign agents. Omar must go. Tlaib must go. Anyone serving foreign interests must go. Primary them, defeat them, replace them with loyal Americans, with oath keepers, with representatives who actually represent, who actually serve, who actually put America first. Not Somalia first, not Palestine first, not themselves first. America first, always. Support those who expose them like Johnson did. What others feared to do, called out a foreign agent, presented evidence, built a case, made it undeniable. Constitutional lawyer, using constitutional knowledge to defend the Constitution. Southern gentleman using polite manners to destroy betrayal. House Speaker using speaker power to expose fraud. That is leadership. That is courage. That is what America needs. More Johnsons, more truth-tellers, more evidence presenters, more fraud exposers. People willing to be called racist to defend the Republic. People willing to be called a bigot to expose foreign agents. People willing to be attacked to protect America. The foreign agent problem is real. It is documented, it is proven, it is dangerous. Ilhan Omar is a foreign agent in the American Congress. She serves Somalia while taking an oath to America. She advocates for foreign interests while representing an American district. She uses American power for foreign benefit while getting an American paycheck. She votes against American interests while sitting in American government. That is foreign agency. That is infiltration. That is subversion. That is exactly what foreign agents do, and she does it openly. Because no one stopped her until now, until Johnson, until exposure, until truth. But she is not alone. More exist. More foreign loyalties in American government. More representatives serving foreign masters. More officials taking oaths they do not mean. More politicians prioritizing foreign interests. More betrayal, more subversion, more foreign agency, and they must all be exposed, all be removed, all be replaced with loyal Americans, with oath keepers, with real representatives, who actually serve America, who actually prioritize American interests, who actually mean their oaths. America first must mean something, must be enforced, must be required, not optional, not negotiable, not flexible. Required always from everyone, or the Republic falls, democracy dies, America ends. That is what is at stake. That is why this matters. That is why Omar must go. Not because she is Muslim, not because she is black, not because she is an immigrant, not because she is a woman, because she is a foreign agent, because she serves Somalia, because she betrays America, because she violates her oath, because she is disloyal, because she is a fraud, because she is a danger. That is why, the only reason why. Truth. Mike Johnson proved it. 5 rounds, 5 scandals, 5 frauds, all documented, all proven, all disqualifying. She cannot survive this, cannot explain this, cannot excuse this, cannot continue this. She is exposed. She is finished. She is done. Truth won. Evidence won. America first won. And that is just the beginning. More coming. More exposures. More foreign agents revealed. More frauds documented. More betrayals proven. More truth spoken. More accountability demanded. More loyalty required. More America first enforced. Because the Republic depends on it. Democracy requires it. America deserves it. We, the people, demand it. Oath means something. Loyalty matters. America first is not a suggestion. It is a requirement. It is an oath. It is a duty. It is non-negotiable. And anyone who violates it must go, must be removed, must be replaced with loyal Americans, with oath keepers, with real representatives. Starting with Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman from Mogadishu, the foreign agent from Somalia. Somalia first, never America first. Until now, until exposure, until truth, until the end. If this exposed Somalia first Omar for what she really is, subscribe right now, because she is not alone. She is not unique. Washington has more foreign agents, more representatives serving foreign countries, more officials taking oaths they do not mean, more politicians prioritizing foreign interests over American citizens, and we are going to expose them all. Every single one. No exceptions, no mercy. Just truth. Just evidence. Just accountability. Share this everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, text. Every platform, every contact. Every American needs to see this, needs to understand this, needs to recognize this.
For an agent in our Congress, taking our oath, getting our paycheck, representing our districts, serving Somalia, betraying America, violating everything.
Make it viral. Make it massive. Make sure everyone knows who Ilhan Omar really is, who she really serves, where her loyalty really lies. Not America. Somalia always. Somalia never America. Comment right now which betrayal angered you most. Campaign finance fraud. Paying millions to her husband from your donations. Possible marriage fraud. Cheating the immigration system you followed. Some people did something. Minimizing September 11th while your family mourned. $250 million stolen from hungry children by criminals connected to her. Somalia first loyalty, calling the Somali government our government instead of the American government. Tell us. Tell America. Tell her. Make your voice heard. Make your anger known. Make your demand clear. She must go, must be removed, must be replaced with a loyal American, with an oath keeper, with a real representative, not a foreign agent, not Somalia first, America first only, America first always, America first. And who should be exposed next? Rashida and her Palestine first loyalty. More squad members and their foreign allegiances. Other representatives serving other countries. Other officials taking oaths they do not mean. Other politicians betraying America while representing Americans. Vote in the comments. Tell us who is next. Tell us what fraud to expose. Tell us what betrayal to reveal. We are listening. We are investigating. We are preparing. More coming, more exposures, more truth, more accountability. More Mike Johnsons needed too. More constitutional lawyers willing to present evidence. More leaders willing to build cases. More speakers willing to expose fraud. More truth-tellers willing to be attacked. More Americans willing to demand loyalty. More citizens willing to enforce oaths. That is how we save the Republic. That is how we restore democracy. That is how we protect America. One truth at a time. One exposure at a time. One foreign agent at a time. One betrayal at a time. Until they are all gone. Until they are all removed. Until they are all replaced with loyal Americans. With oath keepers. With real representatives. America first always, only, forever. Subscribe so you do not miss what is coming. Share so others see what happened. Comment so America knows you are awake. You are aware. You are done accepting foreign agents. You are ready for truth. You are ready for accountability. You are ready for America first. You are ready for loyal representatives. You are ready for oath keepers. You are ready for real democracy. You are ready for a restored republic. You are ready to fight. Somalia, first Omar is exposed. The foreign agent is revealed. The betrayal is documented. The fraud is proven. 5 rounds, 5 scandals, 5 betrayals. One truth. She serves Somalia, not America. Somalia always. Somalia never America. And she must go, must be removed, must be replaced. Truth demands it. Evidence proves it. America requires it. We, the people, enforce it. Let's go. Subscribe, share, comment, fight, win. America first wins. Truth wins. Loyalty wins. Oath wins. Republic wins. We win. Let's go.